Okay, students, what I'd like you to do first is I'd like you to put your pencil right here where it says in the diagram, and I'd like you to finger track and read aloud the entire problem. Go. Okay, now we're going to take this one step at a time. We're going to highlight, underline, and chunk. It says in the diagram below, FCR is complementary to RCA. The measure of angle FCR is 8x minus 6, and the measure of angle RCA is 4x plus 8. Find the measure of anything and everything that you can find. Okay, so we highlight, underline. Now we're going to trace and sweep angles. So we are given an angle here, FCR. So we come here, FCR, trace and sweep, is complementary to angle RCA. So there's R, trace with me, CA, trace and sweep. This word, complementary, means to sum 90 degrees. So I'm going to sweep both these angles. I know whatever they are, they're going to add up to 90. So there is the trace and sweep. We're going to draw a label list and cross stuff out as we go. We are told that the measure of angle FCR, trace it again, FCR, is, that's an equal sign, is 8x minus 6. Cross it out. And the measure of angle R, trace it, CA, trace and sweep again, is 14x plus 8. Find anything and everything that you can find. Okay, so we drew it, we labeled it, we listed it, we crossed stuff out as we went. So let's look very carefully, and you're going to notice that this right here, it's not a bisector. It does not cut the angle in half. But I'd like you to physically trace that. That adds up to 90. So we know that the measure of the blue plus the measure of the green equals 90. The measure of the blue angle plus the measure of the green angle equals the measure of the whole thing, which in this case is 90. Use that information to solve for x. Now, a couple other things I'd like you to do is I'd like you to physically, please, trace the segment RZ. Physically trace RZ. R all the way to Z. Physically trace it. Now I'd like you to physically trace the segment F to P. F all the way to P. Physically trace again R to Z, F to P. Those are straight lines. Straight lines create vertical angles. So I'd like you to mark FCR, sweep it. And now also mark ZCP, sweep it. Those are what's called vertical angles. Mark them congruent. That's going to come into play as you solve for anything and everything that you can find. Using that information, solve for every angle possible.